It's 9 p.m. The plan was gym, salad, early night. You're in the kitchen, holding a cookie. And tomorrow, you'll say the same thing about yourself that you said today. No discipline, no willpower. So here's tonight's good news. The actual science of willpower says, it's not that. You're not broken. For 20 years, psychology's most famous theory said willpower is a fuel tank. Every temptation you resist drains it a little more. That theory sold millions of books, filled seminar rooms. And then it met the biggest stress test in the history of psychology. It did not go great. It starts in 1998 with one of the meanest experiments ever designed. 67 hungry students. Each was told to skip a meal, then walked alone into a room where chocolate chip cookies had just been baked. On the table, the warm cookies and a bowl of raw radishes. Half were told, help yourself to the cookies. The other half, eat only the radishes. So the radish group sat there alone, smelling fresh cookies, chewing radishes. For science. Afterwards, everyone got puzzles. Secret twist? The puzzles were impossible. The real measurement was how long you'd keep trying before giving up. The cookie group scratched away for about 21 minutes. The radish group? 8. They quit in less than half the time. The conclusion felt obvious. Resisting those cookies used something up. Willpower looked like a muscle. Tire it out here, and it fails you there. And it's such a satisfying idea. It explains your 9 p.m. self perfectly. There's just one problem. We'll get there. First, the theory conquered the world. Best-selling books, corporate seminars, and a sequel. Willpower doesn't just drain, it literally runs on sugar. And you may know the crown jewel, the hungry judges. Parole approvals in one famous study collapsed toward 0 right before the judge's lunch break. Tired judge, empty tank, nobody gets parole. It's quoted in bestsellers, in courtrooms, in business schools. It fooled almost everyone, very much including me. Then came science's best feature, the part where it checks its own homework. 23 labs around the world agreed on one exact protocol, registered their predictions in advance, and ran it on over 2,000 people. Before the results came in, 22 of those 23 labs predicted the effect would show up. Even the skeptics weren't skeptical enough. The result? An effect of 0.04, statistically indistinguishable from 0. The theory's founder pushed back hard. The replication tasks were too weak, he argued, too easy to drain anyone, which is a fair objection. So, in 2021, they ran it again. 36 labs, 3,500 people. And this time, the pro-willpower camp helped design the tasks. Same answer. Statistically, the odds came out 4-1 in favor of no effect over the fuel tank. 20 years, hundreds of published studies, and the famous early meta-analysis? Corrected for publication bias, the average effect shrinks toward possibly 0. To be fair, the founder still defends the theory, and some researchers think a small conditional effect survives. This is a live debate, not a closed case. So, the fuel tank story, the one we've all used to explain our 9 p.m. selves, is standing on almost nothing. Watching famous ideas get stress-tested is basically this whole channel. Subscribe if you want a seat for the next one. Now the fun part. the autopsy of the spin-offs. Starting with sugar. The claim was that self-control burns blood sugar like fuel. Then researchers tried something wonderful. Just rinsing. Swish the sugary drink around your mouth, spit it out. No sugar ever reaches your blood. It still worked, which means whatever the sweet taste does, it isn't refueling. It's motivating. Your brain isn't out of gas, it's out of interest. And that's a motivation story, not a laziness story. The hungry judges? The data are real, but the schedule wasn't random. Prisoners without lawyers, who rarely win parole, were systematically heard last, right before the breaks. So the cliff before lunch may be paperwork, not hunger. Less poetic, more true. And the famous, "We make 35,000 decisions a day"? Nobody has a source. It traces back to a blog post and a newspaper column, a very confident blog post. So, is mental tiredness fake? No. Anyone who has ever done a tax return knows better. Real fatigue exists. What collapsed is the idea that 10 minutes of resisting a cookie drains a tank in your head. The better story: after effort, your attention drifts away from have to and toward want to. Your brain isn't empty, it's negotiating. Which flips the whole question. If willpower isn't a muscle you can flex harder, how do disciplined people do it? Researchers gave 200 people beepers for a week and pinged them at random. What are you desiring right now? Are you fighting it? The people with the best self-control reported something strange. They were barely fighting anything. They weren't winning more battles. They were scheduling fewer battles. Let that sink in. The disciplined people you envy mostly just don't keep cookies in the house. So the real skill isn't fighting temptation. It's arranging your life so the fight never starts. Don't fight the cookie. Move the cookie. 3 tools, all of which survived the replication era. 1. Design your environment. The earlier you interrupt a temptation, the cheaper it is. Not buying the cookies beats hiding the cookies, which beats a staring contest at 9 p.m. Phone in another room. Junk food off the counter. Gym bag packed by the door. Boring? The evidence loves boring. 2. Habits. A huge share of your day already runs on autopilot, with zero willpower involved. The trick is getting the good stuff onto the autopilot. How long does that take? You've heard 21 days. The real median in the best study we have, 66, with a range from 18 days to 254. And in that study, missing a single day did not break the habit. The streak apps lied. You're allowed to be human. 3. If-then plans. Decide the when and the where in advance. If it's Tuesday at 6, then I'm at the gym. Across one of the largest meta-analyses in the field, that simple trick moved real goals about as reliably as anything psychology has to offer. Notice what all 3 have in common. None of them asks you to be stronger at 9 p.m. They ask you to be smarter at 9 a.m. So, the fuel tank didn't survive the stress test. Mental fatigue is real, but your quiet 9 p.m. defeats were never a character flaw. Don't fight the cookie. Move the cookie. And when you can't move it, an if-then plan beats a staring contest. 9 p.m. you was never weak. 9 p.m. you was just left alone with the cookies. And if you've ever wondered why you keep finishing things you don't even enjoy, bad movies, bad books, dead projects. That's a different trap entirely. The sunk cost fallacy. It's on your screen now. Bring a snack. Not a radish.